to my kitchen. I'm Steve, and on this episode of Cooking with Love, I'm going to be making a good old-fashioned chicken soup. Now, my grandmother used to make chicken soup probably about once a week. She would use an old hen or a rooster for the soup, and they were very, very flavorful. Nowadays, the whole chickens that you buy in the grocery stores, they just don't have as much flavor. So I tend to add a little extra chicken bouillon or chicken base to it to boost the flavor up. This is really, really simple to put together. It does require a little bit of time. You do have to let it simmer for about 2 to 3 hours, but it's going to be well worth the effort. Your family's going to love this. All right, let's get started. The ingredients we need to make our chicken soup are a chicken. This is an organic chicken that you can try to get a real soup kitchen at a butcher's if there's one available to you. But we're going to use this one, and I'm going to supplement it with a little bit of chicken base. We need our vegetables, an onion. The onion we're going to peel and cut in half. Some celery I'm going to wash and trim off the edges. Some carrots I'm going to peel and trim off the edges. Some fresh parsley. We're going to be using bay leaf, some turmeric, ground turmeric, salt and pepper to taste, and then we're going to be using some egg noodles with this soup. You can put any kind of pasta you'd like in there. My grandmother would often make it with homemade dumplings or spätzle. I don't want to go through that work today, so I'm going to be using some egg noodles. But you could also choose any kind of pasta you want, elbows, pastina, whatever you like. All right, let's start putting this together. I have a large soup pot ready. First thing I'm going to do is place the chicken in the bottom of the soup pot. And I'm going to add our onion, which was peeled and just cut in half. We're going to add our celery and the carrots. The bay leaves, and enough water to just cover. Now we're going to turn it on a medium-high heat, and we're going to bring it to a boil. Our soup has come to a boil. Now we're going to turn the heat down low and allow it to simmer uncovered for 2 to 3 hours until the chicken is very tender and the meat pulls off the bone. The soup has been simmering now for about 2.5 hours, a little more than 2.5 hours, and the vegetables are very tender, and you can see the chicken, the meat is just pulling right off the bone. So we're going to turn off the heat, and we're going to let it cool down a little bit, and I'm going to place the chicken and the vegetables onto a cooking pan to cool off so I can chop them up and handle it. Now that the soup has cooled down a little bit, we're going to strain it. Here I have a strainer, and I place cheesecloth over it, and I have a cleaned soup pot. And I'm just going to strain the stock that we made. Now when we cut up our chicken and our vegetables, we're going to return them to the clean stock. The vegetables have cooled a little bit, so I'm going to cut them up into smaller bite-sized pieces. Our vegetables are cut up. Now we're going to cut the chicken up. I placed a pot of salted water on the stove to bring to a boil so we can cook our egg noodles. And I put our chicken stock on low heat. We're going to start to rewarm that. In the meantime, I'm going to be adding back our vegetables that have been cut. The chicken. Going to heat that up, and we're going to season the soup now at this point. So we're going to add salt, and again the salt and peppers to taste. The pepper, the ground turmeric, and we're going to add a little bit of the chicken base. I'm going to let that warm up, and I'm going to taste it to see if I need to add any more seasoning to it. Our water has come to a boil. I'm going to add the egg noodles, and I'm going to cook them till done according to the package directions. Our noodles are cooked to al dente. I'm just going to transfer them now to our soup and let them finish cooking in the soup that's been simmering. I'm going to give them a good stir, and I'm going to be adding a little bit of water to it to have a little more volume in it. Make sure it's nice and hot, and then tasting it again for seasoning. I had added a little water to it, and I re-tasted it, and I added a pinch more salt. I think it's perfect the way it is. And the last step, I'm going to put some fresh chopped parsley in it. And it's ready for serving. I'm ready to taste the chicken soup. Really smells really good. It's delicious. It's chock full of vegetables and chicken, very flavorful. Great soup to make, especially in the fall on a cold day. But to tell you the truth, we eat this all year long. It's something that if you don't want to put the noodles into, you don't have to. Some people prefer just plain the broth with the vegetables and the chicken. And if you make it that way, you can actually freeze it. It freezes really well. I wouldn't freeze it if you're putting noodles or pasta into it. Well, please give this recipe a try. This definitely tastes like home, this recipe. We'll see you on the next episode.